Good morning, everybody. Well, so far we got Vince and we got Mike in here. How you guys doing this morning? Open up Blender and play around a little bit today. Mr. Butchram is here as well. Mike never let the machines win, so we're up to 2 mics. How's everybody doing this morning? Welcome to another live stream. I don't have a definitive plan for today. We're just going to open up Blender and pick something to work on and start working on it. Right? But nobody drop these mics. It's not good to drop those mics. Tired, need coffee? Yeah, I hear you. My TV is still on in the bedroom. Might have to shut that off if that becomes annoying in the background. Alright, let's see here. Let's go to the screen share. Let's move the chat out of the way. And so many things to work on. Where to start? What to work on today? It's been a very soggy past week. For those not following the news, it rained like every day last week, like hard, and we've got flooding all over Middle Tennessee, and that created a nice little mudslide that blocked off I-24. So now it takes me an extra 20-30 minutes to get from my house to downtown. Morning, John. So yeah, there's a mudslide that blocked I-24 east between Clarksville and Nashville. So now there's it takes me an extra 20-30 minutes to get to work until they get that mudslide cleared, and it could be a while. The mudslide happened Saturday night, and still has I-24 closed. Oh, let's see. What do we want to work on today? Well, I've been uploading bit by bit. Some upgrades and stuff for the VSV, and I know some of those are getting some good attention, which is good. Two inches of rain in Phoenix. Well, that probably didn't happen very often. Morning, Joe. Glad to see you guys this morning. What was the last thing I was working on? Oh, there's this. It's another, and yes, before you cringe, another Jeep, but a different style of Jeep. Just playing around with that the other day. This is using a little bit different modeling technique in building the body. I build the body as a trying to see if I can do this and see if it'll be 3D printable. Building the body as a 1-layer shell, and then doing a solidify modifier to add the thickness to it. And I think if it works, it'll be better from the aspect of it won't use as much plastic. The walls will be a little thinner. As long as they'll be sturdy, it'll be good. We'll see. We'll see when I start getting a chance to, when it's ready to start printing and testing. Yeah, the color combo, I was just messing around. I was using the color combo on the body and the wheels and stuff of filaments I just have laying around to see what it'll look like. Morning, Ed. Morning, red light mic. That's our third mic. We have 3 mics now. It's a battle of the mics. So yeah, I can show you what I mean by I'm sure most of y'all can figure it out, but use the front view. Okay. Because I divided it on the wrong line. Vertices. So using this modeling technique, what I'm starting off with is basically doing this to a box. Slide it up above the ground plane there. Starting with a box like this, and then applying a mirror modifier to it. See, now this, as it stands, would not be 3D printable. It has no thickness. It's just a paper thin shell. But then when you add another modifier to it called solidify, the solidify modifier adds thickness. So as you can see now, the shell, if I can get a good angle of it, there we go. You can see now the wall has thickness. And when you apply that modifier now, it'll then it'll have enough thickness to be 3D printed. I haven't played around with the settings enough and printed a test print yet to make sure that that's going to be thick enough to still be rigid. But that's one of the things that I'm working with and testing. You can make the shell go in or out. In this case, it's going in, which is what you would want in this situation, because you're building the outer shell of something. So when you add the solidify modifier to it, you want the thickness to go on the inside. And so I did a mirror modifier so that you're only designing one side at a time, and it's working on both sides. So if I was, to do something like this, you can see I'm only manipulating this face, but since it's mirrored, it works on both sides. So doing something as quick and easy as that could give you the foundation for, like, as simple as that is, that could be the foundation for a tank body right there, because you'd have the spot to put the treads on both sides and build up from there. We're not keeping this, I'm just showing you guys. But so then when you apply these modifiers, which you would do before you export the model, you apply the mirror modifier and you apply the solidify modifier. Now you can see your model has thickness, but now once you've applied those modifiers, you can't make adjustments to them. Now I just went back and undid even having the modifiers to begin with. So once again, mirror it on the Y and add another modifier, add the solidify modifier. Bump the thickness up to 0.02 at least. Like I said, I'll need to print this to figure out if 0.02 is going to be enough or if I need to go thicker. Good morning, Minnesota Maker. So that'll be in the near future here. I'll print a test using this style of modeling to see if it works. And this isn't something we're keeping. I was just showing you how I went about designing the body on that. And then I did something similar to cut the doors out on it. I created the outline shape of the door and did a solidify modifier on it, and then used a Boolean operator to cut that so that we kept a perfect even thickness all the way around the door gap. So the door gap is nice and uniform and consistent all the way around. Still got some stuff to do before I can start printing it. Like I haven't hinged the doors or anything yet, but it's in the works. Hey, let's see here. I still need to go back and finish this too, the truck version of the VSV. And I need to finish the trailer. I got so many things that are in the works that I need to finish. The trailer is essentially finished except for the top section here, and then I need to make some connecting points for the storage rack and ladder. And I need to hinge these doors and figure out how they're going to slide up and into the trailer a little bit so that they stay out when opened up. Because that's the plan, is for them to not just hinge up, but slide in just a hair, just enough so that they'll stay straight out. So I'm going to have to make some sort of slotted hinge. And that's the thing that's holding me back on that at the moment. That and I need to do something different with the tongue of the trailer. I need to make a tongue that is adjustable, height adjustable, because I want it to work with all the vehicles that I eventually build trailer hitches onto, regardless of their bumper height. It's because YouTube doesn't like me, D. That's what it is. Good morning, sir. So, you know, there's lots of work in progress, low-hanging fruit. I need to get motivated to finish it. But when I get stuck on something and I know there's something I need to engineer differently or whatever, sometimes it's best for me to just walk away and mess with something else in the meantime. And I'm kind of at that spot with all these models at the moment. So um, I'm waiting for that eureka breakthrough on one of them where I figure something out and how I'm going to go about it and just do it. Of course, there's this project, which I really need to work on because I've already got some people that are wanting to tackle it even as large as the project is going to be. But I think my problem here is I'm overdoing it. I'm doing too many things, too much on it. And so I probably need to go back and simplify some of it. My Mike Whaley is yelling even in chat, huh? Yeah, this would be an ideal test for the FK1, considering it would use almost the entire length of its bed to print the trailer in one piece. I don't know if I could get Glenn on board with that though. That's going to be a lot of filament and a lot of time, and I'm sure he's got lots of other stuff he'd rather be printing. The Tornado now works well, and I'm planning on printing some stuff with it next couple of days and putting it through its paces a little bit, since I haven't really got a chance to put it to the test. My Monday night shows came back last night. They're back now, and they'll be back until next January. So starting to get busier. My Sunday nights come back this coming Sunday, so I'll be back to show 6 shows a week, 5 days a week. Good morning, Chris. What are you doing, buddy? Yeah, Monday night, the last night being the first Monday night back and the first one they opened it back up, it was not very busy, and there was a home Predators game, which always kills the 6 to 10 shift, and so it was more like paid practice. There wasn't much of a crowd. I think our biggest crowd last night consisted of 8 people. The Chris Benchy Riley. Chris, I didn't know Benchy was your middle name. I don't know. I guess we could work on this morning. It's as good a thing as any. There's so many things that need to be done on it. Since birth. All right. Well, let's see here. Yeah, I knew this was going to have some non-manifold edges to clean up. Let's work on that. I think I've got a sneaking suspicion. That's why. So delete that face and that one. So it has a problem of having some interfaces. See that there? That's a face that is existing inside the model, which will cause it to be non-manifold. So how's work going, Chris? Are they working you too hard, buddy? All right, so I got rid of all the interfaces now. With the mirror modifier, you'll want this to be open, because when you apply the modifier, if you don't have these as not having any faces, being open-ended like that, when you apply the mirror modifier, it will create interfaces. So something that's mirrored like this on its mating edge, no faces. So now when I check all, non-manifold edge, it's okay to have a non-manifold edge until that modifier is applied along that seam. And then I'll show you what I mean, because when I tab back out, apply the mirror modifier. Now check all. We'll see, we still have non-manifold edges, so something was wrong with that. Let's clear that modifier completely and take a look at. Let's put the mirror modifier back on it. Let's take a look at what might be causing that. See, I started designing this so long ago. I have improved my modeling techniques on a lot of things. So there's some stuff that I didn't do right when I made this. Clipping turned on. Okay, that was my problem. I didn't have clipping turned on, so what clipping will do is it will force it to end at the middle point. So no matter how hard you try to drag something past the middle point, it will stop it only at the middle point. So now when I tab out and apply, I should get 0 non-manifold edges. We're good now. I don't worry too much about bad contiguous edges because they seem to print fine anyway. It doesn't seem to cause, which I can see what's causing that, I believe. It looks like those normals have been flipped. Flip normals. See how they were dark? That meant the outside of the face was facing the inside and the inside of the face was facing out. Let's see if that clears up our... Yep, that was our bad contiguous edges. So if you run into something like that, sometimes it's something really simple. It's just, you know, a normal that's flipped somewhere. Which you'll run into that when you're modeling sometimes. Sometimes, you know, no matter how hard you try, you'll end up with some inconsistencies in the normals. Which, another function for that, hit the space bar and you can say, just type in normals, and there's make normals consistent, which I could have done that to fix that problem as well, but I saw the two that were wrong. All right, so how should we hinge this canopy? Should we hinge it to open up this way or open up this way? What do y'all think? Hinge it so that it flips out, or hinge it so that it flips up? Hinge on the roof. I got a lot of stuff I got to clean up there too, as you can see. Actually, let's go back to having this be 2 halves so that I can just make changes in one spot and change it on both sides. So I'm going to delete these vertices. Go back to a mirror modifier. The way as I try to fix this roof line, because there was a lot of things that I hadn't figured out how to do smoothly yet. You know, it might be an easier way to fix this is to drag them all past that. Hold on. Let's grab all the back edge vertices here. Just drag them back past into the body. Then make a copy of this just to be safe. Hide it. Then we're going to take this, make a copy of it just to be safe. Hide it. So we're going to take this part and this part. Right? Okay. So we're going to apply the mirror and apply the Boolean. And we're going to delete this. Bring that back. So right there, now we should have, when we click on this and we tab into edit mode, it should be mated up nicely to the body, and it is. So now we're going to select it all, We're going to create ourselves a little bit of tolerance just by dragging that in a little bit. And there we go. So this is like going back and using some of the things I've learned how to do better now to fix some of the things I did wrong way back when I made this. Because I started designing this almost, well, probably right about a year ago. And I've just worked on it periodically here and there and put it away for a while, and I drag it back out and work on it. And morning, Tom. So nobody else had any additional input as far as where to hinge it. John says to hinge it on the roof. All right, so I'm going to go get my hinge. Mr. Buttram says hinge it up front. Yeah, I was initially leaning towards hinging it up front like I did the Scorpion, so that the canopy would open this way. Because the only thing that I'm afraid of hinging it on the roof is disrupting the body lines. You see the size of this thing? It's not getting up to any kind of speed. You're right. Slow is a speed. Slow is a speed. All right. So, well, we've cleaned up the canopy. Get fancy and hinge it on. I don't know. Let's go ahead and go get my hinge. Let's go ahead and hinge it in front, and let's steal one from the Scorpion. Steal the Scorpion's hinge. Here's the Scorpion. Hello, Mr. Scorpion. Copy the Scorpion's hinge. Wait a minute. I don't think I have just the hinge copied there, do I? No, I guess I do. It just looked funny. All right. Let's open the APC back up. The APC hauler. Let's paste the hinge. Where did it paste? There it is. Slide it out here. Let's rotate it 90 degrees. Let's move it more in the middle. Let's get it right on that middle line. Which actually, where's that location? let's just zero it out completely. Whoa. Wrong part. Let's zero that out completely. 0, 0, 0. So by going in and manually putting the location back to 0 on the X, Y, and the Z, I know for a fact now that I have it completely centered up. So we're going to slide it down now. And then slide it up. And let's look at it from the side. Let's rotate it. About like so. Let's move it roughly into place. All right. So now that's roughly into place, we start modifying the canopy and the body to accept it. Ooh, include the fenders when lifting up. Okay. Okay, Roy. Dang it, Roy. And good morning. I'm going to give you a soda while I ponder this. Be right back. All right. That would be cool, man, but that's gonna be hard. It's gonna need a lot heavier duty hinge for one. And I'm gonna would have to reconfigure the body a little bit. Because right now that's all one piece. All that is one piece right now. Which is going to have to be broken up to be printed anyway, because that's like half a meter long and we don't all have FK1s at home. Well, for now, we're going with this. For now. Let's embed the hinge down into the body more. So now we need to modify the body to accept the hinge. I need to get some of this stuff out of the way so I can see. Hide the bumper and the lights. Why can we not ring cut past that? some reason it will not ring cut past that lip there. Let's take a look at that. That is the one it won't ring cut. Now, a ring cut will not work because Blender doesn't like you to have faces with more than 4 points or less. It wants everything to have 4 points. So I'm not understanding. I only see 4 points there. Anything that doesn't have exactly 4 is called an ingon, and Blender doesn't like those computationally speaking. So it won't do like a ring cut on a face. Now you can still make a face that's an ingon, and it will still 3D print because almost all of my models have them. But when you're designing and working on it, there are certain features and functions in Blender that won't work with it if it has more or less than 4 points. And so it's for some reason not ring cutting through there. The ring cut stops on either side of it. Which a ring cut is going to be almost essential. How can I cheat my way past this? All right, we're going to cheat. We're going to create a cube. Then we're going to tab in to edit that cube. We're going to ring cut the cube. And then I'm going to get rid of those vertices. And then I am going to make a face here. And we're going to cut the body in half this way. So we're going to select the cube, hold down Shift, select the body, and using the Boolean function that's built into HardOps, hold down the Control key and hit minus. I'm going to apply that. Delete that. All right, so now we've cut that in half. We just kind of forced it to be cut in half. And we're going to apply a mirror put a mirror modifier on it with clipping turned on. Grab all these center ones and shove them over, make sure they're butted up. Whoop. I don't want to grab that one. I want to grab just the center ones. There we go. Shove them over, make sure they're butted up to the edge. So now we have that central cut that I was looking for. Morning, Walter. Now when I ring cut, I'm going to ring cut right there. No. cut. Right. There. And now we're going to delete. Where is that vertex going? What in the heck? Just delete that edge. That's weird. Okay. I'm like, what in the world is that? What in tarnation? Alright, so now if I delete this face, delete that face, delete that face. Make a face there. Ah, where'd it go? And a face there. All right. Morning, Don. So yeah, we should be. You want to say hi? Joey says hi. No, didn't want to say hi. Just want Daddy to stop paying attention to all this stuff and pay attention to you, huh? Yeah, he's cute and he knows it. Makes him dangerous. All right. So let's hide the mirror modifier for a second and investigate some stuff. Because I see some stuff that I don't like. Right there. What in the world is that? Delete that face. Alright. Everything else looks okay. Alright. Bring the mirror modifier back. And let's go to materials. Let's remove that material. And there. So I'm looking at a green hinge instead of a tan one. Alright, so now we need to modify this a little bit. Yeah, I might. It's a good point. That's a good point, Roy. Let's just scale it in the X direction. Let's go about there. Which means now we need to also move these vertices out. Morning, James. Well, I'm glad you did, man. I'm very glad you did. So now let's ring cut this here. Ring cut this out there. Trying to stay busy, trying to stay creative. How that goes. Wish I was making Murph plans like a lot of you guys are, but I'm not. Gotta work. Gotta pay them bills. What does that do aesthetically if I bump that out a little? No, let's not do it that way. Let's extrude it out a little. Grab that. And just want to beef that area up a little bit to give the hinge a little more structural surface. The pun game is strong this morning. Extrude that up along the Z a little. And Brian Vines isn't even here, and the pun game is strong this morning. Brian is kind of the pun king, as opposed to a fun king. Well, that's going to be a problem. Have to grab that. G-L-Y. Make that angle a little less offensive to Blender. Yeah. Brian is the undisputed king of the pun. There are so many things I wish I had done better when I made this the first time. That makes me almost want to redo it. Let's grab this, slide it in. Gives it a little more meat for the hinge to bite into. Add a mirror modifier and apply clipping. Oh, that was one I kept just in case, wasn't it? Yeah. Alright, so let's apply the mirror modifier. Let's check it. Let's get rid of the mirror modifier and fix that. Let's hide you for a minute. Yeah, some of this stuff I look at it and I go, what the heck was I doing? See, this is how much I've changed in the last year design-wise. Is I'm looking at this stuff going, God, this is awful. See, this was back around the same time that I was designing the first version of the VSV, which was never going to be sustainable, never going to be printable. And led to a complete scrap and start over, which led to the VSV, which ended up being printed. Play needs to finish your arcade cabinet, so that you don't have to. You haven't missed a lot. I don't know if you saw the hinge being added or any of that. But we're hinging it up front here. So the canopy, we're going to apply the mirror modifier. We're going to check to see if it's manifold. It's manifold. Where's the zero faces? Just out of curiosity. I don't see them. You get a few non-flat faces, but those will 3D print. Okay, we're all right. So now we're going to make a copy of the canopy. Holding down Shift and hit D, hit Enter. Because it's always good practice to make a copy of something in case the Boolean operator screws it up. Because Boolean operators are known to do that. So we're going to hide that one. Where's the hinge? Where's the hinge? Hinge, hinge, hinge. There it is. We're going to copy that right where it's at. And hide it. Select the hinge. Select the canopy. Control minus. Which is a control minus thing, once again, if you haven't been following, the only reason that that does anything is because of the hard ops add-on that I purchased. So if you want to be able to do Boolean operators simply by taking control plus and control minus, I recommend hard ops. So we're going to go ahead and apply that modifier. And bring back the copied hinge. Okay. We now have a hinged canopy. See, it's little things like this that they're time consuming and they're not creatively that much fun. And that's when I run into brick walls on designing stuff. I run into something that's not fun to do, it's not easy to do, and then I skip over to something else. And I save the not fun, not easy stuff for later. But then sometimes I find myself months down the line, I still haven't went back and done the not fun, not easy. So we've made progress today. We fixed the canopy. The canopy had some problems. We fixed some stuff on the body that had problems. And then we added a hinge. Progress. Still so far to go, though. The real fun thing is going to be... Oops. The real fun thing is going to be the suspension, connecting the axles and stuff to the body. I could go a simple route and just make some nice little decorative kind of boxes to mount the body on. That would be the simple route. What? Dogs want attention. That would be the simple route to go. I toyed with, and that's why these axles are sitting here right now, putting springs in, but I don't know if the springs probably wouldn't support that much weight, being printed springs. I know you're there. You don't have to make noise. I know you're there. Yes, I do. Everybody knows you're there when you make noise. Then all of those people on the internets, on the old interwebs, knows you're there too. If you're yawning, why don't you go take a nap? You got your pillow over there. Go lay on your pillow. Come on. Thanks, Don. This thing's going to be so massive, too. You know, since I got hard ops, I haven't tried that on this model yet. Hard ops has a function to smooth things. Let's see what hard ops does with this when I try to smooth it. Nope. How about that sharpen? Nope. Don't like that one either. Okay. Just curious. Don't like the direction hard ops took that. I can't believe my computer has stayed up and stable while streaming and running Blender as long as it has today. Been going for over an hour. I probably just jinxed myself by saying that. But we are less than a month away from a new computer. We're less than a month. It's gonna happen. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I can't believe. Black screen. Stream gone. So I've also got to make connectors for these. I got to connect the axles. Decide if I'm going to use the articulated axles or a static axle. One little bit of functionality that I do want to keep is I want to keep these wheels connected together in tandem like this and put them on a rotating point here in the middle so that they will articulate this way. So then if you, as you're rolling it along the floor, if you roll it over something, the front wheel will travel up and over it and back down as it gets to the other side. But that's what's got me thinking I need to design, even if it takes a bunch of springs, some sort of suspension system and mount it on springs so that it would kind of be a floating articulating thing, which would be really cool. But I don't know, it would take a lot of springs, I think, to support that much weight. What do you want? Hi. He's staring at me. It's looking at me, Ray. I don't know if anybody got the reference. Hide the spare mount. No, he's got his dog. He's got a doggy door. He can come and go as he pleases. So I don't know what his deal is. He doesn't know what his deal is. We have another phantom line right there. Phantom edge. Let's delete that edge. Yeah, he's got a doggy door. He's a spoiled, rotten little brat. He can come and go as he pleases. I put in a $300 screen door that's got a doggy door in it, and bought the $300 one that has the windows on both sides of the doggy door, so because he's a little dog, so that he wouldn't have to stand up to look out if he didn't, was inside or outside. Because all I could think was, if I don't spend a little bit more and get the one with the windows in the bottom so he can see through the door, he'll stand up on the screen and tear the screen up, and I'll be putting new screens in the thing all the time. What do you think, Joe? Do you want your own YouTube channel? Does Joey want his own YouTube channel? He's got his own hashtag. Hashtag Joey the dog. What are you doing? You're so silly. Your breath stinks. Morning, Ben. Or I guess afternoon or evening over there, isn't it? Yeah, I think this is all he wants is attention. He's wanting attention. He's wanting attention. That's what you're wanting. He's like, Daddy's paying attention to stuff other than me. I don't like it. All right. So, the modular nature of this design, by the way, here we see it in its hauler form, but it's also got an APC version, which was the original where I started, was with an APC. So as you can see, that's the same vehicle. It's just a matter of you print all of this stuff, and then you'll print these instead of printing the rest of the hauler. So somebody who wants to print something that's still going to be fairly massive and fun could print this version. So I guess whenever I get around to actually printing it, I'm going to have to print both versions, so it's a good thing I now have two large format printers that are functioning. I'm glad you stopped in, Ben. Even if you can't stay. So yeah, the original version was just the APC. And then I sat there looking at it one day and I was like, I wonder what would happen if I turned it into a truck. And so here we are. I turned it into a big semi. Which, by that token, also will mean I can create other back-end accessories for it so that you can print multiple versions. Everything that I make, I try to make modular so that people can customize it how they want it. Like, I don't know how many different iterations of the Jeep, the VSV would be possible right now, especially for patrons because they have the access to the lift kit and stuff. So you could do 2-door, 4-door, lifted, stock suspension height, You can do the no roof, regular roof, sport roof, the regular grill, the multi-material grill, the sport grill. Patrons have access to the functional VSV, which has articulated suspension and steering. So there's many different iterations of that already, and I plan to do that as time goes by with everything. Eventually the whole VSV is going to get the multi-material treatment from front to back. Right now there's multi-material grill and then 2-part snap fit seats, which I guess could probably be printed at the same time in multi-material if you wished. It would probably be faster and easier just to print them in 2 parts and snap them together. I want to get better at designing stuff that snaps and together and stays together, like I did the seats. And I also want to go back. I was thinking about this morning. I want to go back to the VSV and modify it to have screw holes in all of the mating surfaces, so that you can also, if you choose to do so, screw it together rather than glue it. So it'll be more solid, more rugged if somebody wants to give it to their kids and their kids actually play with it, rather than just kind of being a diorama display piece. I mean, not that you can't play with them, they just, not real rugged. And go back and add screw bosses throughout to where you can screw the body together, you can screw the axles on and stuff like that, and then when I do that, print one out like that, screw it together, and then take it with me the next time I go to visit my grandson and say, "Here, Sean, play with this." Play with this. Don't look. And just know that he's going to destroy it, but see how easily he destroys it. And maybe give me some insight into other things that could be toughened up, because he wrecks everything he touches. He destroys it on purpose. He likes breaking things. He loves Skylanders, and he doesn't have a single Skylander that has all of its arms or head. Or Skylanders aren't that easy to break, and he broke all of his. They're all missing parts. He likes to destroy. Alright, so the spare mount. I need to put, I guess, axles up there to snap the spare tires onto, but they need to be looser so that you could actually remove the spare tire if you wanted. Or some other sort of contraption that'll hold spare tires. I don't know. Alright, well, we made some good progress today. We got a canopy that functions. I still got some stuff to think about suspension wise, so I'll start brainstorming on that. I need to get my sketchbook out and sit and draw up a couple different ideas. About how I'm going to mount that. Hey, Scalda. And then I will need to put the pin on the underside of the trailer tongue so that it slots in there, and I need to work on how that's going to function. The ramps in the back will be easy. It's just a simple hinge type mechanism. That'll be no problem. I need to build the interior for it. The seats are just there so that I could check scale and whatnot, which, as you can see, those are the same seats that are in the VSV. So given that those are the same seats, that are in this, it gives you an idea of the size of this thing. It's going to be enormous. Well, and the trailer is going to hold 2 of my tanks with room to spare. So again, massive. Which the tank needs some work. It's on hold right now because of a problem that I'm having with the body, the undercarriage. So I'll get back on that soon as well. I got frustrated with it last time because I messed up something, and then I thought I had it fixed, and right about the time I thought I had it fixed, I hadn't saved in about an hour, and because it slipped my mind, and my computer crashed, and I lost an hour's worth of work, and when I opened it back up, it was back to a spot where it wasn't right at all, and so I'm like, I don't want to redo that right now. So we are getting close though. March 22nd is when the funding will be available for a new computer, but I will be working all day because that's a Friday. So I'll probably go buy a new computer on March 23rd, and it'll be ready for the stream on, 26th. And I'm thinking migrate to Blender 2.8 with when I get the new machine, and we'll go that route from there forward, which the interface is a lot cleaner on Blender 2.8, and the on-screen work area, render area, looks better too. So I think it'll improve the looks of everything that you guys are looking at while doing it. The EV render engine is more of a game render engine, but it delivers a nice clean render that is less processor intensive than Cycles, so it renders faster and smoother and offers you better viewport rendering in the meantime as well. Yeah, I don't know if this is going to work. The axles I'm toying with there, and then how to mount them. I don't know, some stuff to think about there. We'll figure it out. We'll get it working. And when I get this thing done, it's going to be a long process to print it, because it's huge. So I'm going to separate the trailer into sections that, other than there will be a rear section that you clip on at the end whenever you get, you've decided that's your last section. but I want to make the trailer so that you can clip as many of those together as you want. You can print as many pieces as you want, make the trailer as long as you want. And so that's another thing I've got to consider engineering wise is how I'm going to connect those pieces together and keep structural rigidity across a long length without the trailer starting to sag. And so again, that one may require not just fitting together, but maybe screwing too, so that right now I'm thinking about doing some sort of structural beams along the bottom that run the length of it, that have openings for you to slot in like almost halfway through to the next section, and then put a couple screw holes there so that they could be screwed in place once it's slid together, to offer the most structural rigidity I can. Not exactly sure how I'm going to do that yet. It's on the list. Because this thing is going to end up, when it's done, having to support some weight, and I don't want the trailer to sag too badly in that process, because just this one tread section, it has some weight to it. So, picturing the rest of the body of this tank and how much weight that's going to have, and planning to put two of them on the trailer at the same time and not have the trailer bowed down and buckled real bad. So that's, giving me a little engineering pause. But we've went an hour and a half today, and I think I've reached a point where I've only got another half hour or so anyway, so I don't really have time to accomplish a whole lot more. So I don't want to jump in on something that I haven't even started on yet and have to walk away from it midway. So I'm going to go ahead and call it for the day, guys. Hang out with Mike Whaley tomorrow on his stream. I thank you all for stopping by, and another Tanner 3D live stream. If you want to support the channel, links below are how you do it, and if you become a Patreon supporter, you have early access to designs as they get done, even in the beta form. And we will see you guys in the next one. Thank you everybody for stopping by and hanging out. Y'all are great. Some great people stopping by today, and really appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.